Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Big Bad Bench. I am John, aka Big Bad Biologist. Oh, today we have a very special project on the bench. Um, so you can see here we have a little BlueSCSI. Got a note from Sean, Action Retro. Please save my little blue friend. So we're going to try to fix this thing today. And in the chat already, we have Eric Helgeson, Garth Beagle, Adam McGee, aka Adam's Apples, and Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack. How's it going, everybody? Good to see y'all. So let's take a look at this thing in the microscope and let's see what we're dealing with here. So there's our little BlueSCSI, and this is our problem area. So what we're dealing with here. Let's get a little focused. Maybe get rid of a little bit of light. You can see we're missing some solder pads. Doot 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 doot. And so and you know the solder pads where the power or where the main data connections are all at, and so we gotta figure out a way to fix this. And so it might be a little bit challenging. I don't know. I've never attempted anything quite like this before with a BlueSCSI. So we'll see how we do today. So I sort of had the question of how could this have freaking happened? And so I consulted with a friend of mine. Let's call him Professor Whiteboard Guy, and let's see what he had to say. So it seems like Professor Whiteboard Guy, who is a brand new novel character, not derivative of any other work, seems to indicate that there was just too much action on this little micro SD card slot. And so maybe we should ask Sean actually what happened here. Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, I think Professor Whiteboard Guy has similar thoughts. Had a pretty good theory here. So let's get into the microscope and let's see what we can do here. Oh yeah, let's go back and yes, Eric, there's a Dremel here, and we have a Dremel. So this is a little tool. It's kind of like almost rubbery, and it has a little bit of abrasive in it. And I've found out about these things from Necroware, who has a really awesome YouTube channel, and they make these things in all kinds of shapes and sizes, where you can, depending on what kind of damage you have on your board, you can kind of grind stuff off. Yeah, so that's what I'm out the front and up the pins on the board. That's a good idea. So what I think I'm gonna try to do is clean up some of these traces and solder little extensions to them, and I think we'll be able to get them soldered back in. The thing I worry about is if we look at let's go back under the microscope here. If we look at our BlueSCSI, right, we can, this surface right here, I believe is ground plane. Let's double check that real quick. So I'm just gonna use my little Dremel tool to get rid of. We know that's ground. Yeah. So these are both ground. So you can see in the original design that this pad and this pad and this pad and this pad were all kind of isolated from ground. But in reality, they all connect to the shield that goes around the micro SD card slot, and so we can just clean up a little bit of the solder mask, and if we shift this ever so slightly back, we should be able to get all of our solder points and get a little bit of a substantial connection on this side, because like we say, with those Hull cans, we don't want to have this point unstructured. So yeah. So I'm going to ground away a little bit more of this stuff. So let's see if we can clean up some of these traces. So even the Okay, sorry if that noise was really awful. So yeah, this pad here and this pad here are not connections, so we're not gonna even bother with those. Sorry, I'm trying to get this a little bit more in focus for you. That's a little better, I guess. So you can see that eraser thing does a pretty decent job. Oh, I forgot to clean up over there. Okay, a little bit more. Sorry about that. Okay. Hey, Eric's Edge is here. How's it going, Eric? All right, so I think what I want to do is tin up all these things, and let's see what we're looking like. So we'll flux it up a little. I need to give myself a little bit more light here. Okay, 2 pins towards the bottom of the screen on the blue pill. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Yeah, we can see here the traces going from this solder pad to there, that's all grounded. So if we get any little bridges across there, it should be okay. Yeah, I guess like if you combine it's more elective surgery, right? Like, Adam had a good point that just desolder the blue pill and get a new PCB. And that's a good possibility, but I like to, if we have a thing, let's use it. Let's see if we can fix it. And if I fail, then yeah, get a new PCB, reuse the blue pill. All right, so what I want to do here is see how closely we can get all these things realigned. Actually, Adam, I was thinking about that as a possibility. Ooh, I have these things, which are like micro SD to regular SD card adapters. I was thinking could just sort of solder that on in one of the places, but I think we'll be able to fix this. All right. All right, so let's see how this thing lines up. So part of the problem with shifting this back a little bit is, I don't know how well we're going to be able to see those two little gold solder pads there. I think like we're just going to get on the very edge of where that solder pad is, like the big solder pad. But if we just shift everything back, I think we're going to be in all right shape here. The main issue is we're not going to get some good adherence onto that slot, onto that tab. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what we can do on this thing. All right. So I'm going to stop looking at the screen and actually look at the microscope for a change. And we want to make sure that we're not like shifting over at all. Not enough. Gonna have to apply a little bit more solder on those. All right, so that worked reasonably well. So I just hit that corner right there. Let's see if we can get this corner. So we're all aligned here with our pins, or our connection points at least. And let's see if we can get this one connected. Oh yeah, got a little bit of substantiality. Is that a good word? There's a pinout on the wiki for testing. Yeah, I think I came across one of your diagrams that helped a lot. Oh yeah, that's a nice solder pad. All right, now we're gonna have some strength there. We'll see. I don't have a whole lot of faith in my abilities, Garth. I appreciate your enthusiasm. Ooh, oh, I just put my hand in my flux. Making a mess. I have flux all over my hands now. All right. I'm gonna make a mess right here. All right. Let's clean my solder tip. I'm gonna just put way too much solder on here. That's looking pretty good. I think we might be in good shape here. All right. I don't know. Let's put a nice big honking blob on there. Yep, that looks pretty good. Yeah. We got some good solder blobs in certain places. I'm still a little worried about that front corner, but it should be supported by this one. Let's get this other solder blob. No, that one went real smooth. Alright, should we test this thing and make sure I don't have any cross bridges? So, one of these is ground. That one. Just make sure. Yep. Okay. So no bridges between ground. Oh. Wait. Is that our diet? Yeah. Nothing there. Nothing there. Alright, now just want to see if we have a connection between there and there. Good. Alright, I think we might be connected. Let's see. Alright, I want to do a little cleanup. Let's switch our camera. Dump a little isopropanol in here. Flux and toothbrush. Oh, you probably have it somewhere on one of your pages, Eric, but could you give me a link to where you can get one of these micro SD card slots? Sean didn't include his broken one, and I had some spare blue scuzzies that I hadn't assembled yet, so I used one of my own for this one. Okay, so let's see if this thing actually freaking works. That would be wild. Alright, so let's zoom out. Oh, that's a good idea. Put a little filter paper in there to remove flux. Oh, alright, so to test this thing, this is my Mac Plus that I've been using. So this is my my little board I designed to include internal SCSI into Mac Pluses. But I have an external BlueSCSI with 608 installed on it, just to make sure that the system's booting properly before I try the repaired BlueSCSI. Oh, that's a good idea. Powered up by USB. Let's see. Do I have one of those right now? Oh. Let's see. I don't think I have any spare USB ports on my computer right now. But yeah, let's plug it in and see what happens. Oh, all right. So, all right. Sorry, I gotta take a step away. Alright, well, it didn't catch fire, so that's a good thing. The green light came on, the red light blinked for a little bit, so I think it's probably okay. But yeah, I want to check to make sure this system actually boots. Got a mouse. We got our external BlueSCSI. I don't see anything shorting. Make sure there's nothing underneath there. Alright, let's go. We got bong. Oh, I guess I should change up my view a little bit. Come on, little Mac Plus. All right, there we go. All right, so we're our current my good BlueSCSI boots this thing up. Yeah, so I think I'm going to use a little bit of solder mask to reinforce the pins that don't have a connection, just to give a little bit of something to them. Okay, so this is mine. So this micro SD card I really do not care about. This was one I bought off of eBay. That was advertised as a 1 terabyte micro SD card for $11. So I basically knew I was going to get scammed. It's actually 475 megs. And so, yeah, that was not real. All right, so the micro SD card fits in there reasonably well. Gonna plug our repaired BlueSCSI in here. Let's see. I guess we should put the camera over here first, see what we get for blinkies. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. We got our red light, the blue light, or the green light came on for a second. And welcome to Macintosh. Let's go. All right. All right, so awesome. All right, so we helped out Sean, Action Retro. Yeah, so let's put a little bit of solder mask on this thing to reinforce some of those pins. Yes, another one saved. I don't know if we can we say that for new devices? All right, so oh, let me fix my camera. Hey, Epictronics is here. How's it going? Let's zoom in a little bit here. Sorry for the wiggly cam. All right, so I'm gonna pull this out. So I use it wasn't bin, thus saved. Right, that's a good point. All right, yeah, let's go back into the microscope. My eyes are not good enough for this. Oh wait, let's go back to here. All right, so my highly technical method for applying solder mask is I have this half of a tweezer that I ground down, and I use this for clearing out vias in boards, and so it's one of the smallest things I have, and so I just put my pinky up in here to get the liquid to go close to the top, and then just use this to pull a little bit out. Okay, so let's go in the microscope, and what we're gonna do is just put a little bit on these outer pieces. Oh, that's a lot. Oh geez, I put too much. It'll be okay. And I'm going to put a little bit over here. Try to reinforce this corner that didn't have a solder joint anymore. Going to use a different tweezer. Oh, no. I'm just going to get rid of this. Going to get rid of some of that solder mask. We don't need all that right here. Yeah, I'm going to have an update. Once I get this solder mask curing, I'm going to talk about that. Using a BlueSCSI on a DOS system. Alright, so let's go back out here. And I have these really terrible UV lights. Don't worry, the UV doesn't come through your screen. It's not a particularly potent UV light, so it takes a little while, so I'm just gonna set this off to the side and let it go for a little bit, and then all right, so that's gonna go. So what I want to do is show some of the stuff that I got from VCF East, some of the cool boards I got that I'm still very excited about. All right, so this first one, this one has the Cyrix or Cyrix. I don't know what the actual right way to say that is. I always have said Cyrix. Cyrix 6X86 PR200 Plus. And like I said before, I at one point in my life I'd sold all of my Cyrix CPUs for gas money because of the gold that's on them. And so I haven't had any Cyrix CPUs in a while, so I was excited to get a board that had one of these on it. This board it has a Dallas real-time clock, so I needed to modify the Dallas real-time clock with a regular CR2032. And so that resolved that area. But then once I started getting it booting, I realized that the keyboard wasn't working, and I found out that it had this little let's say 125 volt 3 amp fuse. 3 amp fuse. And so I found some of those, got that in there, and this board is cranking. It is working perfectly. So this system is 100% up and going. And so I'm excited about this thing working. This is a 486 motherboard, but it's only ISA, so the board itself I wasn't particularly enthusiastic about, but it used to have a different CPU in it. And so all the testing I've done with this one, it's been fine. It did have a little bit of trace rot around the battery, but I've polished that up and it all looks good. So I've tested this board out and it works fine. And I took that other CPU out and put it into a different board. So this is the thing that I was really excited about for my VCF East finds. So from that other board, it had this Kingston turbo chip in it, which is, here's the part number. Basically, it's like a Pentium 75 overdrive kind of thing. So I was really excited to find one of these. And so this is going to be a lot of fun to play with. This thing also has a Dallas real-time clock in it, so I had to modify that. And then when I put this all together, and even with other CPUs, and I powered it up, it was basically dead. So if I used my postcode reader, it was just like line, which means that it's not doing much of anything. So I've had to fart around a long time with this one until I found the issue. And so right there you can see all this whole corner of this chipset chip. All of these solder joints were cracked. And so I went in and reflowed all those joints, and immediately it powered up. Shortly thereafter, I found another issue in that when I had the keyboard plugged in, it would beep and it wouldn't post. And so then I was like, well, what the heck's going on with that? And I was poking around, and there was an inductor here, L1, that it had a funky color. And when I was checking, the voltages around the board. There's a fuse right here, and it was reading 2.5 volts. 2.5 volts is low, and I could see that this thing's basically going to the keyboard. The AT keyboard uses 5 volts, and so there's something weird going on here. And so I pulled off the weird colored inductor, and I found an inductor on another scrap motherboard, and just swapped it, and lo and behold, we get 5 volts now at this fuse. Keyboard works fine, and it booted right up. The one issue I'm still having with this is it's not playing nicely with my compact flash hard drives. I put it on a regular hard drive, and it worked fine. And so I have a feeling I'm going to need to update the BIOS on this thing. But I'm already playing around with that. But this is another thing that's like super cool about this board. So one of the reasons I'm so excited about this thing is it has PCI slots, and I've never had a 486 board with PCI slots. So I'm looking forward to playing around with that. But some of the keen-eyed among you might have noticed the array of ports, right? And so these later 486 boards had, integrated peripherals. Normally with 486s, you'd have to have a separate I/O slot or an I/O card. But here we have our built-in IDE, our built-in floppy serial parallel. But look what's right here. SCSI. So this is a slot for a SCSI chip. And I looked around trying to find what was the right SCSI chip to buy. And it's supposed to be the Adaptec 6360. And so somebody on eBay had this brand new inbox SCSI upgrade kit. And actually, if anyone else happens to have one of these things and wants to do the upgrade, I think he had like 10 of them. And I did an offer for $10, and he accepted. And so it comes with an ID or a SCSI cable, a little thing so that you can make an external SCSI port on your computer. This is apparently for Acer computers, I think. But it has the manual, it has the floppy drives, or the floppy disks. And so basically, just pop out this chip. Haven't opened it yet. Here, I'm cutting things wrong. Children watching, do not cut like I just cut like that. And so theoretically, I should just be able to take this chip, pop it in the board, and we should be good to go. So I'll do another stream specifically about this some other day. But I can't believe I found this stupid chip. So hopefully it's the right one. So yeah, I wanna update the BIOS on this thing first, and then we'll come in and do some more work on this, and maybe throw some BlueSCSIs on it and do that. So that was pretty cool. I'm really excited to get going with this project. All right, so let's check in on our solder mask. So zoom in. All right, and you can see the outer surface of the solder mask is cured. I don't trust my light to go very deep, and so what I do is I come in with my hot air. Gonna shut off my this, and we're gonna just hit it with 175 degrees. VHS, no, I do not have a TL866. I do have an older EEPROM programmer that it works for a lot of things, but it's not a great one. It's definitely something that I should look into getting. It was always enough to, like, if I needed to desolder a BIOS off of a video card, it's good enough for doing that kind of thing, but it doesn't have all the cool bells and whistles that a lot of the newer ones have. All right, so let's just make sure I haven't screwed this up at all. So you can see, oh, there we go. That's all nice and cured. Our micro SD slots in there pretty well. And let's just boot it up one more time. Make sure we're doing this thing all right. As we've learned from previous streams, power is useful for booting up computers. We got bong. Oh, do you have some nice buzz coming through there? I'm trying to get my microphone away a little bit. Do a little. All right. Little write test passed. Let's do read tests. Go, little snooper test. Go. All right. Well, I think we've saved Sean's BlueSCSI. I was worried that I was gonna have to solder some little extensions into some of those wires, but just moving back, everything seems to have worked, and our little BlueSCSI's cranking away. So. Just goes to show you what a robust device that Eric Helgeson has invented here. We can fix these if we have the will. So I think I'm gonna end this stream now and go and do some raking because it is a beautiful day out there. So I want to thank Eric Helgeson, Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack, Garth Beagle, Eric's Edge, and Epictronics. Thank you all for coming by. Oh, and Adam McGee, thank you for coming by too. So yeah, have a good one, everybody, and I'll probably be doing another stream next weekend. Maybe I'll work on that 486 board. We'll see. Have a good day, y'all.